Hey everybody, and welcome to a little Northernlion mini-series here. This is Oxygen Not Included, an in-development game currently in early access on Steam from Clay. And I know that people go, early access, I'm out, buddy. It's the scourge that's killing the industry. I don't necessarily agree with that, but if there's any company that's done early access right, and there are a few, Clay is one of them. You know, Don't Starve was one of the first games that ever made it to early access, and it made it out of early access, and to great critical success, even though it wasn't necessarily 100% my cup of tea. I think you gotta give credit where credit is due. This is, I believe it's the Don't Starve team. They're taking a crack at a colony builder, very, very similar to RimWorld, but with that typical Clay kind of Tim Burton art style, macabre, Nightmare Before Christmas, but also cartoony and really cute as well. So, it's out in early access on Steam, but it's very low-key, if that's the case. Like, I had to follow a special link from the Oxygen Not Included subreddit to buy it. It's $21 Canadian, so $20 American. And I figured, you know, with Anti-Birth basically reaching its logical conclusion, we're gonna play a lot more Isaac, but what if we check this out for like a week? It's a little bit more robust than Let's Look At, because I want to play like, you know, 5 or 6 hours of it to really get my sea legs. But we're going to start a new colony here, and I'll do my best to explain. I played about 2 hours of it so far, and I think that people are really going to like this. It's not, I mean, it has a ways to go, but it's pretty playable in its current state as well, as you will see once we get in here. So it is, if you watch the RimWorld series, it's very similar, except in a 2D kind of like diorama style of camera as opposed to isometric or top-down. So we start with 3, I think they're called duplicants here. And these duplicants basically have different attributes and skills that change the way that they interact in the colony. And of course, you're worried about survival. Like, oxygen matters, water consumption matters, which it didn't in RimWorld. And, you know, you basically, you control, I don't want to say every aspect of their life, but you give them the ability to control a lot of aspects of their life. Like, you have to give them a bathroom, for example, which is why things like small bladder matter here. So every second they get plus 0.2% extra percent of their bladder filled. But they've got different classes as well, and they level up, and you'll see those levels go up as we do this here. But they also, like, they talk to each other, and there can be conflict, I think. So let's look at what we've got here. Pam, a level 4 architect. She's got good construction, good creativity. Iron Gut, she can eat anything without getting sick, but her bladder's a little small. Then we have Ada. Bad at learning, good at creativity, good at tinkering. She's amphibious, so she can move quickly underwater, and there's fluid dynamics in this. And slow learner, so she's not great at learning, and she vomits when she's stressed. Then we got Grub. He's good at athletics, so he's fast. And he's strong, so he can carry more. Amphibious, narcoleptic, so he can sleep anywhere. I think we're gonna reroll Ada, just because I don't want to get too many negative consequences. Decor expectation 20. Areas with decor values lower than a duplicant's decor expectations will cause their stress to rise. I mean, this is a great character here, but maybe a little bit high on the decor expectation, but you know what? We'll try to make it work regardless. So, of course, part of the emergent gameplay here is we got to give them names. So there's Kate, and, you know, I mean, I don't want to make myself the superstar, but I will. And then, name your colony Lunar Space Camp. I don't know. Maybe we'll just keep shuffling here for a second until we get someone that strikes my fancy. Grease Monkey. Good at tinkering. Yokel. Can't research. We don't have anybody that's good at research, so I'm going to shuffle that once more, plus 5 tinkering. Basically, I'm trying to get somebody who looks like they could be, like, in our squad, but maybe that's not necessary. Like, we're going to need, like a Nick or something like that. Or let's see. Cooking, creativity, and strength. Diver's lungs, so they can swim, and biohazard, so they get sick all the time. Oh, I don't want to put that on anybody. What about Horatio? He gets sick all the time. Night owl, construction. You know, everybody's a night owl. Mathis doesn't get sick all the time, but there you go. It's me, Kate, and Mathis. I'm sorry, Mathis. I didn't mean it like that. We're just going to embark here. And we'll get started. I'll do my best to explain. It's a complicated game, so it's going to take us a little while to explain what's going on here, but I'm going to do my best. Your crew is awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be for the best to start digging. So I just paused the game to begin with here. I'm going to do my best to explain the interface. Basically, the bottom left menu is things that you build to handle your needs. So, for example, our duplicants need to poop. We can make, if we go to plumbing, we can make an outhouse. We don't have the materials for it right now, but we can make an outhouse. So we can build that. And we build that using the minerals that we see around us on the map right now. So, you know, there's algae. This is sandstone, which is basically just like a raw building material. Copper ore, we can use that to make like metal wires. Coal, I don't know what we use that for yet, but presumably something later. And then, so you can build all sorts of stuff here. Like we're going to try to build some ladders so that movement is easy. Carbon dioxide, I don't know if we want to free that here, but we're going to need this oxygen. Anyway, long story short, we're going to build some cots probably early so that people can sleep as well. And there's cots right there. The bottom right is our orders menu. So we basically just click and drag, and then these orders are issued. We don't have to micromanage our units. Instead, our units will dynamically determine what they should do based on the orders that are in the queue right now. So right now, all of our units dig, I think. None of them have like aversion to digging, so if we just unpause the game, they will all start cracking into these minerals with their No Man's Sky guns, and once they crack into them, we'll get minerals here as well. Like, you got 920 sandstone. These sandstone blocks will just sit on the ground for now, which is not what we want because it's going to make things messy, but we'll deal with that in a second. You can also harvest minerals. You can prioritize jobs, so move them up or down. Sweep is basically clean up and put things in storage. Mop is in case you accidentally get like a water or contaminated water or, you know, a sewage leak. You can mop it up. Deconstruct is obviously break things that you don't want anymore. And then in the top left is just information. So we have 3 population. Stress is 4% on everybody. Here's how many calories we have available. And that'll also be over here as well. And then finally, we have overlays, and these are very useful to tell us what's going on here. So as you can see, this is our oxygen overlay. This tells us if the environment is breathable. So we have to be consciously worried about the homeostatic nature of our environment. You know, is it in balance with itself? For example, our duplicants consume oxygen for metabolic processes, and then they produce carbon dioxide. So if we never had any oxygen producing abilities in this cave, eventually we would create a situation in which it's unbreathable. So we have to eventually get CO2 scrubbing to turn CO2 into oxygen that people can breathe. And there's other minerals that can do that as well. And then there's, you know, power grid, which we have nothing to deal with now. Heat is also similar, you know. If we're in warm, temperate, probably like hot to chilled, I imagine is okay. And then scorching and cold and molten and absolute zero become like serious problems, obviously. But imagine we have like a generator here. As the generator works, it's going to generate heat, and in an enclosed space, that's going to make things too hot for people to be comfortable. So we have to worry about that as well. You know, here's light sources, liquid plumbing, we got nothing to deal with. Anyway, that stuff is maybe a little more than we need right now. Let's just on pause for now, and we can also speed it up by using the tab key here. The game is broken up into cycles, so every cycle is basically the equivalent of 1 day. Our units are going to want to sleep at night, and they're going to work during the day. What I'm going to do here, just to start with, as soon as this digging job gets finished, we're going to have that's them sucking food, by the way, out of this ration box, which is basically just a storage container for food. So we're just doing this to get some raw materials that we can use to start to build things and plan our base. So I'd say first priorities, we definitely want to have toilets. And we definitely want to mine that sand out as well. We definitely want to have toilets. We definitely want to have cots. And I think we want to have a little storage space as well. So I'm going to start by making a storage compactor. It takes 400 kilograms of sandstone, and we have 10,000 kilograms of sandstone. So basically a storage compactor just allows us to put all of our minerals into it. We're just going to make this a storage compactor that holds all minerals right now. Very similar to the RimWorld style of things. So they're going to pick up all these minerals on the ground, so it's not just messy around here. And then they're going to go to this box whenever they need minerals or materials of any sort. All right, so me, Kate, and Mathis are doing a good job of filling this up. The storage compactors don't have, or are they called compactors? I can't remember. Yeah, storage compactors, they don't have a great capacity, so we're going to need to build a lot of them. And we're probably going to want to specialize some of them as well. Like, this thing's almost full. That thing is probably straight up full now. Yeah, okay. So we'll probably build another one. We'll get a couple of different things on the go here. So we're going to build another... Oh, cancel that order. We're going to build another storage compactor, just so we've got something to put our dirt into. And then we're going to plan where we want the rest of our base to be. So probably one of the first things we should do is build a toilet. And we want the toilet to be far away from where our units are going to sleep. By the way, yeah, there's other minerals in here like chlorine. We don't really want to get... like mine into this chlorine gas. Similarly, we want water, which is down here or up here, but we don't want to like drill through the ceiling or it'll flood our base and possibly cause us lots of problems. So I think we're going to build our toilets like down here. We're going to build like a little underground wing for them and use ladders to get to them. So we'll just have like this, and then it doesn't need to be 4 tiles. In fact, I think we can get away with it just being 2 tiles tall. Although, wait. How big is an outhouse? 2 tiles tall. All right. So we'll just dig out like a little 2-tile hole here. And we're going to put some storage compactors next to it. Basically, you know, it's not glamorous, but that's where people are going to put their poop. Periodically, they're going to go in there and they're going to put their poop in there. And we're going to build a storage compactor next to it so that they can do so. So our units, they're not really capable of jumping too high, so we need to make sure that we're constantly providing the infrastructure for them to get where they need to go here. So these ladders allow them to get around the base, and they can walk over the base of the ladder as well, which is useful. So they're just going to mine their way down here. And once we get our first cycle is getting somewhat close to completion here. So once we get this first toilet built, what we're going to do is, well, obviously everyone's going to want to use the toilet. And then we're going to build some cots, basically. And the cots are basically going to give them a way to sleep that will also reduce stress. I haven't yet ran into as much trouble with stress as I've run into. See, I think I'm narcoleptic, right? I haven't ran into as much trouble with stress as I did in RimWorld early, but that you know, just like in RimWorld, could be subject to change pretty quickly. So, got a pretty nice setup going on here. All of our jobs are done. So very quickly, we'll throw down a little outhouse right here, and then we'll put a storage compactor right next to it. So you might be asking, like, NL, where'd you learn this? Like, you're doing things all wrong. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I just made a mess. These duplicates could not find a toilet in time. Kate! That's probably her stress that's going up, right? Not her HP. Yeah, that's fine. Use the mop tool. Oh, she peed all over the floor! Use the mop tool to clean up the mess. There we go. And then here we want to, it shouldn't be all. It should be whatever is done. We didn't get to build the cots before the night happened. Okay, so let me look at the outhouse here for a second. Details. Contents. Requires no piping. Reduces stress and the spread of disease by regulating where duplicants relieve themselves. Requires no piping. Must be emptied of contaminated dirt periodically. Decor is obviously bad. So we're going to make this hold only contaminated dirt, which is in raw minerals? No. Filtration medium? That doesn't sound right. Consumable ore? Hold on. Close all this up. It's obviously not raw metal. We want this to hold just poop, basically. Organic? Seed? Filtration medium? Consumable ore? I swear to God I saw it last night. I'm losing my mind. It can hold dirt, but it's contaminated dirt specifically that we want. Maybe I'm just missing it here. You know what? Just put everything in there for now, and we'll live with that, but there's no specialization. All right, so they're going to sleep overnight. You might be wondering what's going on with this gate here. Well, this is a printing pod. Every few cycles, we're going to get the opportunity to get another duplicate. We can choose from 3, and we can also re-roll them as is necessary as well. So we got some things on the go right now. We're going to get another duplicate probably like pretty soon tomorrow, or maybe the day after. But we got things to worry about. First, we need to build some cots. All right, we're going to need a bedroom. We're going to need 4 cots eventually, but okay, well, you know what? Why not build 4 right away then? Where did Kate go, by the way? Am I losing my mind? Oh, there she is. She was just like behind somebody else. Okay, so now we got 4 cots. This means everybody will be able to sleep semi-comfortably in our colony, as it is so far. We also have insufficient oxygen generation. We've consumed 27 kilos already today, and we're generating 0. So the way that we generate more oxygen is we convert algae into oxygen. We got a huge algae source right here, which is awesome for us. And we'll look at our overlay. Down here, it's terrible. There's no oxygen getting down there. So we should build an algae deoxidifier. Deoxidizer, there we go. You can tell I have a science degree. And then we'll dig like that. And this is basically just to get to this algae down here. And the algae will be stored as well. So we'll just break it out like that for now. That should give us enough algae to roll for now. And honestly, we actually should dig into this next section because there's all sorts of oxygen over here that is not contaminated. There's a little bit of carbon dioxide, but if we look at the overlay, it's actually really nice. It's very, very breathable. So, you know what? Why don't we issue like a little bit of a larger dig order to do something like that? Bust into that oxygen. Okay, sick. And then we're going to need food. We don't need food right now, but we'll need food pretty soon in the future here. Kate, why are you idle? Oh, because she actually can't dig. So we'll have someone dig and someone build simultaneously here. All right, so... Oh, and okay, so we need power as well. These guys are not going to like pooping because they can't even breathe down here. So they're going to be pretty exhausted when they figure out the next setup. How many? Yeah, we got 21,000 kilocalories. So we need to generate power as well. So we're going to issue like another dig order. And we'll generate power up here just because it's not a toxic environment right now. So... And to be honest with you, we should probably build another storage compactor as well. We got a lot of orders on the go. We should probably prioritize what we actually need, but we want to make sure that we got storage compactors active, even if they're not specialized right now, just so that the decor doesn't suffer. So we're not making any extra oxygen right now because of the fact that we don't have any power going to this algae deoxidizer, and then we're going to need algae next to it as well. So you guys have cracked into there. We're going to get flooded with oxygen that hopefully is not going to lead to like any kind of toxicity here. And we're going to build a manual generator, which requires 200 copper ore. 200 kilograms of copper ore. We have 3,000 kilograms of it right now, so that's pretty good. They make it down to the toilet, but they're going to be like real displeased when they get down there because they got to hold their breath while they're pooping. Not bad practice in general, but... maybe not the kind of thing we want. We're going to build a battery as well. What's the purpose of building a battery? Well, basically, a duplicant has to run on the generator to produce power, but if it stores power in the battery, they don't have to be running at all times. You know, they can just run when necessary. So, we'll build an electrical wire with copper that's going to connect the generator to the battery, and then we're going to connect... I don't know if we have to connect the battery to this, or if it'll all just flow. I think it will all just flow. That was not the way I meant to do that. Give me 1 second here. Because we want to build our wires over the ladder, because the wires can go over the ladder and get connected. Okay, so we'll on pause here. You can see, like, some of them, they're pretty unhappy with their decor. It's actually... like a little unbreathable over here, but that's the point, is that we're gonna fix that by making these wires, and then this algae deoxidizer, there we go, is gonna start producing some more oxygen that is gonna create an acceptable environment. Like already down here, it's sort of starting to work. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, like the very breathable oxygen. I would just want to come up there. Okay, are you guys able to breathe decently in here? How you doing? Like, are you holding your breath over here? It's breathable, it's just unbreathable at this edge. Okay, so it's actually going pretty well so far. So hopefully you got a little bit of an idea for how things are working in oxygen not included so far. We got power, goes into a battery. That battery helps power the algae deoxidizer. We got algae down here that we're going to feed into this storage chest, which will eventually get pulled from here. It's not quite factorial levels, like it's manually going to have to happen. But the next thing we need, if we have... Yeah, we've given that priority. The next thing we're going to need is food generation. And the way that we're going to generate food right now is by something called a microbe musher. So it uses common ingredients. It also takes 400 copper ore to build, but it uses 400 ingredients and requires power. So we're going to put it over here. And I forget what ingredients it uses to make food. It might be algae. But the idea is that we need to make enough food for all of our duplicants to be able to eat. So let's make sure we wire that up via this right here. And then we'll be able to set some food orders. So if you've played RimWorld, it's actually pretty easy to wrap your head around what's going on here. So we can make two things. We can make a mush bar, an edible putrefied mudslop, preferable to starvation, but only just barely. May cause diarrhea. But it's made out of dirt and bottled water. So we're going to need to get to a water source to make this, but that should be easy enough. And then lice loaf. We need meal lice, which we don't have right now, but I believe that meal wood gives the chance for meal lice to appear. And then I thought maybe you could just click on that and give you a tooltip or something, but we'll make mush bars for now, and we'll fabricate as long as the resources are available. You know, we might as well fabricate lice loaf as long as it's available as well. This is just a standing order to basically produce as much food as you can. And then our ration box, how much does it cost to build one of these? That's in food. Costs 400 obsidian and 400 sandstone. I'm just going to build it over here. We can maybe deconstruct this, but I don't want the food to go away. So this is a pretty, like, it's a ramshackle way of doing things, but it's the way I'm going to choose to do it. All right, the next thing we need in order to actually get some food produced is to get some water. So this should allow us to get water. We're digging down. In fact, we can cancel this order right here. Eventually we can get piping, and we can pipe the water from here to everywhere. You know, we can have indoor plumbing, basically. But that's going to require some research, which we're going to do eventually, but perhaps not immediately here. I just want to take a look at oxygen as well. It's starting to get there, maybe, but, you know, it's an enclosed space in here. Okay, so we want to dig there, and that's going to require the use of ladders as well. And then this should allow us to get water into our food area. Maybe somewhat inefficiently, but it'll happen regardless. All right, what's next? Well, I don't understand. Maybe this is my ignorance, but why aren't these why aren't these areas diffusing oxygen as much as I would like? Like, why is it not possible that this carbon dioxide just becomes utilized? You know what I mean? Maybe if we put down more plants, it will breathe the carbon dioxide, and as a result, we'll get more oxygen. That seems logical. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna bust into this area, and I'm gonna build some stuff. I'm gonna mine out the ceiling here just for my own personal interest, and I'm gonna put a research bench down here and then wire it up to the electricity. And then with the research bench being up here, oh, we got a cycled report here. So let's see how we did yesterday. We lost about 100 kilos of oxygen. We lost 2,000 kilos of food. That's still not that bad, but the stress, we removed 71 stress from the economy. That seems pretty solid. And we got 2 skill increases. And look at this. Everybody's making it to their cots. I don't know why Kate doesn't want to sleep next to Mathis and myself. I guess we're a little stinky. I can accept that. All right, so hopefully you understand where we're coming from here. What's going on? Printing pod. We got like maybe another day, so maybe we'll get our next colony member tomorrow. So we got like a semi-decent colony going on here. You know what it is? What does mealwood produce? No, not oxygen. Mealwood. I'd like to learn more about the concept of mealwood. All right, well, we'll deal with that later. Today we've got some highly specific goals. I'm generating power. That's dope. Probably unnecessary to generate that much, but that's okay. We're going to get water. Getting water is going to allow us to get food. Oh, we mined oxalite, which was, I think, stupid because oxalite generates oxygen, but whatever. They're all eating. Not sure if that's good. Insufficient resources, insufficient. Okay, we're generating at least some oxygen today. They're all going to eat. We want to get to water, and then if we get to water, we can start making food, and I think that's a reasonably good place to end the episode today. But we're also going to make a research bench that allows us to start working on cool things like farming, indoor plumbing, etc., etc. But right now, we got a colony that is, with the exception of food, somewhat self-sustaining. Which an athletic skill increase. Northernlion athletics is now at 2. You know, life imitates art. So now we've got water. They should suck up that water, turn it into bottled water, which I'll slow down just so you can see. Yeah, picked up 18.82 kilos of bottled water. And look at this little cutie pie here. Taking the bottled water, putting it into the food manufacturer, and then Kate's going to pinch out a microbe loaf which is going to take a long time here, but that will start to allow us to get some food generated. All right, the absolute final thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go stations. We're going to build a research station. Research stations allow us to produce novice research. I'm just going to wire this up to the grid. Hopefully that'll work. We're just going to wire this up to the grid, and by wiring this up to the grid, we'll be able to create novice research, and novice research units are going to allow us to start down the tech tree, basically. So you can see, like, I just pulled copper ore out of this storage compactor, and then I go and I'm gonna just deliver it to all these wires, and slowly or wait, am I delivering it to that chest? Maybe that's what I deem most efficient right now. Oh, Kate had a skill increase. Her athletics is now at 2. Mathis is pinching out these loaves here. Kate's getting some more water. So we're 100% invested in, like, making food right now, which is maybe not what we should be doing, because we have a decent amount of calories. But I mean, food's not important. Don't get me wrong. But it might be better for us to start getting this research station done. But I think that's where that's going to end the episode today. On tomorrow's episode, we're definitely going to get another duplicant, and we'll name it after somebody else in the crew, of course, as skill dictates. For now, though, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. I'll put a link in the video description below if you want to check out the alpha version of Oxygen Not Included on Steam. This is going to be like a little mini-series. If you want to play along with me, you can pick it up there, but keep in mind it is early alpha on early access. So what you're seeing is subject to change. Might not be necessarily fully representative of the final product, but I'm having a good time playing it so far. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at the same time with another episode. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.